Talk about a few things Rona today. So what's up everybody? How you doing on whatever platform you're watching this on? YouTube, Brighteon, BitChute, Rumble. What's up everybody out there? Wherever you're watching this, hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you're having a good week, a couple days until New Year. Like I said, once that calendar changes, baby, things are magically going to change for the better, 2021, right? I especially appreciate all the comments on all the videos. I just wanted to let all of you know that. The good or the bad or the ugly, I appreciate all of it, so keep them coming, everybody. Now, we're talking about a few things Rona here today. Spokesman for Florida Governor Ron Desantis deactivates Twitter after saying every dead COVID victim should be balanced with 99 photos of survivors. A cursory thought is, I definitely agree based on the CDC statistics that came out in late September. Go ahead and overlay those up there. I was looking for more accurate, more updated numbers since we've been hearing about the 17th wave that we're going through. I was looking for some more accurate statistics. I couldn't find anything. I imagine the numbers are probably roughly about the same as what I posted above. If anybody out there has any updated information or a link to it, then send it over to me. As I was looking through the site earlier, I opened up a PDF from like mid-December, and it didn't really have any survival statistics. So again, cursory thought is certainly, but optics-wise, you know that the way the media's been pumping this, the way social media is, the way companies are, the way a ton of people are all on board with this fear-mongering, that this is definitely a foot-in-the-mouth moment, optics-wise, for somebody who's working for an elected official. Fred Piccolo Jr. has served as DeSantis' spokesman since July 2020. He previously tweeted other misleading and insensitive messages about the pandemic, including claiming the 19 is less deadly than the flu. We've seen the statistics. Perhaps that is a bit misleading, but remember back in the day, back in March, April, May, they told us what? 5% we're going to die. We're going to prepare for millions of deaths. So to call out one side, you have to make sure to call out the other as well. And we have to this day still a liar being celebrated in Dr. Fauci. Somebody who lied about the masks in the beginning, the need for the masks, because he felt like they wanted to keep them for healthcare workers. And then his latest lie about what was needed for herd immunity. The guy's been a flip-flopper, so I have no problem with calling this out. We just want news that's balanced, that makes sure to call out both sides. Over 21,000 Floridians have died as a result of the virus this year. Former virus data manager Rebecca Jones has previously disputed the accuracy of Florida's numbers. What does she think they are? China? All right, here's a tweet here. I'm wondering, since 99% of patients survive, shouldn't you have 99 photos of survivors for every one fatality? Otherwise, you're just trying to create a narrative that is not reality. And again, true. It's facts. We've seen the numbers. I've overlaid it a couple times already in the video. Unless you're somebody who's over 70, if you get this thing, chances are very high that you're living. So for instance, if you have somebody who's 50 to 69 and you have 5 deaths and you show their photos, we're going to need to see, based on the statistics, and we love those, 995 survivors. For those over 70, the survival rate, as you see, is about 95%. For every one person who succumbs to the disease, we're going to need to see 19 who survived. And then for the younger groups, obviously you've seen the numbers. For every 1 or 2 that succumb, we're going to need to see nearly 1,000 who have survived. Again, he hit on reality, but people have been so whipped up by this, so scared. And this is the reality of it, is once this is over, and over, when is that going to happen? When are they going to tell us that it's okay? Is Fauci going to keep bumping up the numbers in terms of herd immunity whenever he feels like it? Once we come through the scare, once people finally have had enough of it, you'll have to examine for yourself what side of this you were on. Were you somebody who was one of those type of people that would be out there screaming and crying and moaning on the internet, cursing at fellow Americans and not looking at the survival rates? Or conversely, were you one of those individuals who just didn't give an F and was going around not wearing a mask, not watching your hands, so on and so forth? Or were you just somebody in between, kind of like, all right, whatever, I'll wear my mask, wash my hands, and I'll live? But again, optics-wise, you and I can say what we want to say. You and I can make videos about this or that, give our thoughts and opinions on it. But when you're somebody who's working closely With an elected official, then the standard becomes a little higher, especially when you're a public figure, right? Pandemic is the biggest hit to mental health since World War II, and the impact will last for years, top psychiatrist claims. Dr. Adrian James, president of the Royal College of Psychiatrists, made the claim. He said that even when the virus is under control, there will be profound consequences. Mental health charity Mind described the worsening situation as an emergency, and this is something we don't hear enough about. Every single day on the news, numbers, hospitals, ICUs, capacity rates in these hospitals, often neglect the mental health side. But fortunately for us, we have dancing TikTok nurses to help get us through that whole mental health side of it. The more dancing nurse videos that we get, the more choreographed videos that we get from healthcare professionals, it's going to help us right here. As I said in the last segment, I have no problem with calling out accurate numbers or putting those numbers out there for public consumption. However, I just want to see balance. I want to see the acknowledgement of the mental health side, physical side, financial side, and as I said, when I turn on the news, local news, of course, I don't watch the cable news, but when it's local news, it's always just these numbers. Rarely will you get a story that tells you about the bigger picture. And I think that's what people out there who are crazy, the types that are out there yelling about people in masks and all this stuff, that's the stuff they won't get. This stuff right here is what they won't acknowledge. They just refuse to. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Oh, wear a mask. Wear a mask. Here's the key thing he talks about right here. It doesn't stop when the virus is under control. And there are few people in hospital. You've got to fund the long-term consequences. The deaths of loved ones from the virus, along with mass unemployment and the social effects of draconian lockdowns, are well documented. Mental health charity Mind described the situation by Christmas as a mental health emergency, adding that 2020 has been a year of anxiety and uncertainty, and more people need us than ever before. Okay, well, I'll have to have a little cynicism there with that organization touting their own services, but the reality is we're social beings. We're not just made to be locked up in our homes, hiding out from something that, based on the numbers, most people do come through, and those are CDC numbers, so hey, don't hate on me. The numbers are what they are. The charity said in November, more people have experienced a mental health crisis during the pandemic than ever previously recorded. There was a 15% increase in urgent referrals of people suffering mental health crises from March until July this year, and 2,276 more urgent referrals made in July 2020 than the same month last year, according to Mind. Dr. James' comments come as Britain's crisis continues to swell, with millions more people in England facing Tier 4 restrictions to control rapidly growing outbreaks. We've heard about the mutation. We'll have to see how that goes. They say it's more contagious, but not necessarily more deadly. That's what I've heard so far. And finally, we'll go with this, something that a lot of people here and a lot of people in whatever country that you're watching in would probably applaud, especially here in the United States, if somebody who doesn't go along with the media narrative, if they would be treated like this. Chinese citizen journalist 37, hailed for reporting the truth of Wuhan's outbreak, is jailed for 4 years. Zhang Zahn, 37, has been convicted of picking quarrels and provoking trouble. Interesting. I bet there's some lawmakers in the United States that would love to try to get something like that on the books. Can you believe this? There's something called picking quarrels and provoking trouble. She criticized Wuhan government's handling of the crisis at the peak of outbreak. Zhan's accounts painted more dire picture of the epicenter than the official narrative, but we trust their numbers, of course. We totally trust their numbers. It wasn't their fault. It didn't come from them. It came from Australia. It started in the United States. It started in Europe. It was someone else's fault. Her lawyer, Ren Kuan-Yu, said they will likely appeal her 4-year sentence. A Chinese citizen journalist who was arrested after reporting the truth about the CV outbreak in Wuhan was jailed for 4 years. Zhan, 37, has been found guilty of picking quarrels and provoking trouble. Ms. Zhang, the first citizen journalist known to have been tried, was among a handful of people whose first-hand accounts from crowded hospitals and empty streets painted a more dire picture of the pandemic epicenter than the official narrative. Criticism of China's early handling of the crisis have been censored, and whistleblowers such as doctors have been warned off speaking out. And you remember way back when that first whistleblower came out reporting the truth, you know what happened to him, right? So quickly we are to forget. Given the stellar human rights reputation that China has currently, I'm sure that there's some kind of misunderstanding here. She must have been the problem. She has to have been the troublemaker. There's no other explanation for it. State media have credited success in reining in the virus to the leadership of President Winnie the Pooh. A New York-based human rights organization earlier told Daily Mail that Ms. Zhang was punished for doing exactly what the world desperately needed: reporting on the CV from Wuhan. Home to some 11 million people, the Chinese provincial capital caught international attention last December when the CV first broke out there before spreading around the globe, with at least 1.7 million deaths reported so far. You see here, you have a few different stories, kind of like a few different things to think about, a couple different aspects of it. In Florida, you have a gentleman who's getting roasted and had to delete his Twitter account due to reporting facts, and even underreporting based on some age groups. You have individuals talking about the mental health side of it, and hopefully he's not getting any pushback. And it's because you know that the mental side is just as important as the physical side. And I always question why, in past years, there wasn't all of this media hype. I pointed to cardiovascular related diseases. In the past, we see 700, 800, 900,000 deaths related to that in the United States. But yet you don't see this media push. It's okay, we've got people running, we've got people scared. This is generating ratings, let's go with this. Kind of the new kid on the block kind of thing that gets them ratings. They're in business to make money, so I guess in that sense I get it. But I wonder, will this change things going forward? My feeling is that when a new disease comes along, we're going to be going through this cycle again and again and again because they've learned now that they can scare the populace, turn them on each other, generate ratings, which leads to money. Now in China, totally different situation. Somebody out here reporting the actual reality with a country that has as great a human rights record as China, that they would jail somebody for telling these kind of stories. It must be her. I totally believe the CCP. All the time. I believe the CCP. Yeah, sure. It came from tainted Australian meat, they tell me. I believe them. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Be safe out there. Be well. We're headed into New Year's. So hopefully you all have some plans, at least as much as we're allowed to have fun and celebrate. Maybe enjoy some fireworks somewhere. So take care, everybody. Be well. Thanks for watching.